The lawyer's office smelled like old books and furniture polish. Attorney Morrison sat behind his desk, reading Dad's will to the three of us. Mom had died 2 years earlier and now Dad was gone too, sudden heart attack at 68. To my daughter Lauren he read, I leave the house on Cedar Avenue, my investment portfolio valued at approximately $450,000 and the contents of my safe deposit box. My sister Amanda's pen stopped moving on her notepad. To my daughter Amanda, I leave my coin collection, the 1967 Mustang and $175,000 from my savings accounts. Amanda's head snapped up. Wait. That's it? Morrison continued as if she hadn't spoken. The house is to be transferred immediately upon probate completion. All accounts and assets to be distributed within 90 days of hold on. Amanda stood. Lauren gets the house and $450,000. I get coins and an old car. Your father's estate planning was very deliberate, Morrison said carefully. He consulted with me multiple times over the past year to ensure. This is bullshit. Amanda's voice cut through the office. Lauren, you can't accept this. It's not fair. I looked at my sister, same dark hair as mine, same green eyes we'd inherited from Mom, but her face was flushed with anger. Dad made his choices, Amanda. Choices you influenced. She grabbed her purse. You lived 10 minutes away. I was in Boston. Of course you got in his head, convinced him you deserved more. I didn't convince him of anything. Right? You just happened to visit every week, drive him to appointments, have dinner with him 3 times a week. Coincidence you ended up with everything. Morrison cleared his throat. Miss Williams, your father was completely competent when he drafted this will. If you wish to contest. Oh, I'll contest it. Amanda stormed toward the door. Lauren, you need to do the right thing. Split it evenly. That's what Mom would have wanted. She left before I could respond. Morrison looked uncomfortable. Family disputes over estates are common. She may cool down once she's had time to process. But I knew my sister. Amanda had always believed the world owed her something. Time wouldn't help. The calls started that night. 9 voicemails, each one more demanding than the last. We need to talk about Dad's distribution. You know this isn't fair. Call me back. We're fixing this. I'm serious, Lauren. You can't keep all that money. I called her the next morning. Amanda, the will is legal. I can't just redistribute. Can't or won't. Her voice was sharp. You always were Dad's favorite. Perfect Lauren, who never left town, who gave up her big career to stay close to Mommy and Daddy. That's not what happened. Wasn't it? You stayed in this nowhere town, worked at the credit union, lived in that depressing apartment. All so you could be near them. And now you're cashing in. I stayed because I wanted to be close to family. Because when Mom got sick, someone needed to be here. You were in Boston chasing promotions. Don't you dare. Her voice went cold. I had a life. A career. I couldn't drop everything every time Mom needed a ride to chemo. The line went quiet. We'd never talked about this. The 3 years of Mom's cancer, the way Amanda visited once a month while I drove Mom to appointments twice a week. I'm not redistributing the inheritance. I said finally. Dad's will was clear. She hung up. Amanda showed up at my apartment 2 weeks later. I just deposited the inheritance check. $450,000, the largest amount of money I'd ever seen with my name on it. She walked in without knocking, using the spare key I'd forgotten she had. Did you deposit it? She demanded. Amanda, you can't just you deposit. It, yes. The estate settled yesterday. Morrison said everything was processed. Everything, she laughed bitterly. Right. You're everything. Meanwhile, I get Dad's dusty coin collection and a car I'll have to sell just to get any real money out of this. The Mustang is worth at least $40,000, which means I got $215,000 total, while you got $450,000 plus a house worth another $300,000. She was shouting now. You got $750,000, Lauren. I got barely a quarter. Plus you got the coin collection. Dad's been collecting since. I don't want his fucking coins. Amanda slammed her hand on my kitchen counter. I want what I'm entitled to. Half of everything. You're entitled to what Dad left you. That's how wills work. He was dying. He wasn't thinking straight. He had a heart attack, Amanda. He was perfectly healthy until the moment he collapsed. There was no diminished capacity, no confusion. He knew exactly what he was doing. She stared at me, jaw clenched. You're really going to keep it all? It's not about keeping it all. It's about respecting Dad's wishes. Dad's wishes. She grabbed her purse. Fine, but this isn't over, Lauren. I'm contesting the will. I'll see you in court. Attorney Morrison called 3 days later. Amanda filed a contest. She's claiming undue influence, that you manipulated your father while he was vulnerable after your mother's death. My stomach dropped. Can she win? Unlikely. Your father's will was professionally drafted. He was examined by a physician who confirmed competency, and there's a clear pattern of him rewarding the child who was present and involved in his care. Courts generally uphold wills unless there's evidence of coercion or fraud. So what happens now? Probate court will review everything. Given the estate size and the contest, it'll go before a judicial panel. 7 probate judges who review complex cases. They'll examine your father's mental state, the will's provisions, any evidence of undue influence. How long does that take? 3 to 6 months. In the meantime, the estate remains frozen. You can't access the house or the funds until the panel rules. I hung up feeling sick. Amanda was going to drag this out. Make it ugly, contest every detail. The security camera installer arrived the next afternoon. I'd scheduled it after Amanda's intrusion. I wanted a record of who came and went from my apartment. Where do you want cameras? The technician asked. Front door, back door, and the hallway by the stairs. My apartment was on the 2nd floor of an old converted house. The stairs were steep, 12 steps with a landing halfway up. The hallway camera will cover the stairs too, he said. Good angle from up here. I didn't think much of it then. Amanda came back a week later. I heard her on the stairs before I saw her. Heavy footsteps, faster than normal. I opened my apartment door, and she pushed past me into the hallway. We're settling this today, she said. Right now. Amanda, there's nothing to settle. The probate panel will fuck the probate panel. She wheeled on me. We stood at the top of the stairs. The landing 6 steps below us. The hardwood floor of the entry another 6 steps past that. You're writing me a check. $140,000. That makes it even. I can't do that. The funds are frozen during probate. You deposited the check. The money's in your account. Morrison said not to touch it until I don't care what Morrison said. Her voice echoed in the narrow hallway. You're going to your computer right now. You're transferring $140,000 to my account. And we're done. No. Her expression changed. Something cold slid behind her eyes. No. The probate judges will decide what's fair. If they rule in your favor, you'll get more. If they uphold the will, you get what Dad left you. But I'm not redistributing anything on my own. You self-righteous bitch. She stepped closer. You think you're so much better than me. You stayed, you sacrificed. You were the perfect daughter. And now you get the reward. It wasn't about a reward. Then give me half. She was screaming now. If it wasn't about the money. If you're such a good person. Give me what I deserve. You got what Dad thought you deserved, Amanda. Wrong thing to say. Her face contorted. What he thought. She laughed, high and sharp. You mean what you convinced him I deserved. You poisoned him against me, made him think I didn't care, that I abandoned them. You did abandon them. You visited Mom 6 times during her entire treatment, 6 times in 3 years. I had a career, and I had a family. My voice was quiet now. I chose them. You chose Boston. Dad's will reflected those choices. That money belongs to me. She shoved me, both hands on my shoulders full force. I stumbled backward, my heel catching the edge of the top step. My arms windmilled, reaching for something, anything. My hand found the railing. I gripped it hard, fingers wrapping around painted wood. My body swung out over the stairs, one foot on the landing, the other kicking empty air. For a second I hung there, suspended between standing and falling. Amanda stared at me, then her expression hardened. She grabbed my shoulder and pushed again. Let go. Her hands were on me, trying to break my grip on the railing. My fingers started to slip, the wood sliding through my sweating palm. Below me, 12 steps of wooden stairs dropped to the hardwood entry floor. If I fell from here, I'd hit my head, break my neck, die. Amanda knew it too. I saw it in her eyes. The calculation, the decision. She pushed harder. My grip broke. I fell backward, shoulder slamming into the wall, hip hitting the edge of the landing. Pain exploded through my left side. As I crashed into the landing floor 6 steps down, I lay there gasping, collarbone screaming, and looked up. Amanda stood at the top of the stairs, chest heaving, staring down at me with wild eyes. We both understood what had just happened. She tried to kill me, tried to push me down the stairs, break my neck on the hardwood below, all so she could what? Inherit everything if I died. Amanda, she turned and ran. I heard her footsteps pounding down the remaining stairs, the front door slamming, her car engine starting in the driveway. I pulled myself up using the railing, cradling my left shoulder. Every breath hurt. My vision swam. Then I remembered the security camera. The hallway camera pointing directly at the top of the stairs. It had captured everything. Urgent care confirmed the fracture. Broken clavicle, the doctor said, studying my x-rays. You took a significant fall. How did this happen? I hesitated. I fell down my stairs. She looked at me over her glasses. Pushed or fell? The question hung between us. My sister pushed me, I said. Twice. She tried to make me fall all the way down. The doctor's expression hardened. That's assault. We're required to file a police report. I know, I said quietly. I want to. Detective Harrison arrived at my apartment the next morning. I showed him the security footage on my laptop. The hallway camera had captured everything in clear detail. Amanda and me arguing at the top of the stairs. Her screaming, audio included. That money belongs to me. Her first push. Me grabbing the railing. Her pushing again. Both hands on my shoulder trying to dislodge my grip. Me falling to the landing. Her standing there staring down. Then running. Harrison watched it 3 times without speaking. This is attempted aggravated assault, he said finally. She pushed you once. You saved yourself. And she deliberately pushed again. That's clear intent to cause serious harm. Those stairs could have killed you. What happens now? I'm getting an arrest warrant. She'll be charged with attempted assault, causing bodily injury, possibly attempted murder depending on the prosecutor's assessment. He saved the video file. There's something else. Your father's estate is in probate, correct? Your sister is contesting the will. Yes. Then the probate judges need to see this footage. This assault is directly connected to the estate dispute. Attorney Morrison called that afternoon. The probate panel wants to review the security footage. All 7 judges. Why 7? Your father's estate is over $700,000. With unequal distribution between children. Standard protocol is a 7-judge panel review to ensure everything was proper. No undue influence. No manipulation. He paused. Now we have video evidence of one heir assaulting another over the distribution. Will it affect Amanda's inheritance? There's a legal doctrine called the unworthy heir statute. Someone who harms or attempts to harm another heir to change an estate distribution can be removed as a beneficiary entirely. My chest tightened. She'd get nothing. The panel will decide. But 7 probate judges watching video of Amanda pushing you down the stairs while screaming about money. Morrison's voice was grim. It doesn't look good for her. They arrested Amanda at her hotel 2 days later. I watched the news coverage from my couch. Arm in a sling. She looked smaller in the orange jumpsuit. Older. Her lawyer argued for bail reduction. Claimed this was a family argument that escalated. That Amanda wasn't a danger. The prosecutor played the security footage in open court. Even the news anchor sounded shocked. The video clearly shows the defendant pushing her sister once, then pushing again, as the victim attempts to save herself by gripping the stairway railing. Bail was set at $100,000. Amanda couldn't make it. She'd attacked me over $275,000 in additional inheritance money. Now she'd lost her freedom and was facing years in prison. The probate panel convened 6 weeks later. Morrison represented me. I wasn't required to attend. He called afterward. All 7 judges watched the footage. They watched Amanda push you. Watched her push you again. Heard her screaming about the money. What did they decide? Unanimous vote to remove Amanda as a beneficiary under the unworthy heir statute. His voice was careful. Your sister's portion of the estate, the $175,000, the coin collection, and the Mustang, will be redistributed to you as the sole remaining heir. I sat down heavily. She gets nothing. The judge's reasoning was clear. Amanda attempted to cause you serious bodily harm in an effort to coerce redistribution of your inheritance. Someone who tries to injure an heir out of greed cannot be permitted to benefit from that same estate. So I get everything. Yes, approximately $925,000 total, plus the house and all personal property. The criminal trial lasted 3 days. I testified on day 2, describing the confrontation, Amanda's demands, the pushes, my fall. The prosecution played the security video 4 times. Amanda's defense claimed temporary emotional distress, a family argument gone wrong. Her lawyer argued she hadn't meant to cause serious injury. The prosecutor's response was devastating. The defendant pushed once. The victim saved herself. Then the defendant pushed again, trying to break her sister's grip on the railing. That's not temporary distress. That's attempted murder. Caught on camera. Motivated by greed. The jury deliberated 90 minutes. Guilty. Attempted assault causing bodily harm. Guilty. Reckless endangerment. Sentencing 6 years in state prison. I stood outside the courthouse after sentencing. Morrison beside me in the weak October sunlight. It's finished, he said. I nodded, but my throat was tight. Amanda would spend the next 6 years in prison. She'd been permanently disinherited. She'd lost everything. Freedom, money, family, all because she'd convinced herself that Dad's will was unfair. The inheritance money sat in my account now. Nearly $1 million. The house was mine. Amanda's Mustang and coin collection had been sold. The proceeds added to my inheritance. I'd won everything, but my left shoulder ached where the collarbone had healed wrong. I flinched every time someone walked behind me near stairs. And I'd lost my sister, not to death, but to greed and rage and violence. 7 probate judges had watched Amanda try to injure me over money. They'd responded by taking everything she'd wanted and giving it to me instead. Dad had known. Somehow, he'd known exactly who Amanda was, what she'd become. The unequal distribution wasn't arbitrary. It was deliberate. He'd been trying to teach her something, or maybe he'd been protecting me from her. Either way, he'd been right. I drove home to the house on Cedar Avenue. My house now, legally and completely. Inside, Dad's furniture still filled the rooms. His books lined the shelves. His coffee mug sat in the kitchen cabinet. Everything was mine, and I'd never felt more alone.